secondary channel called Logic of Mr. Enter. And before someone calls me Mr. Enter fanboy, this video is not that bad. Not good, but not god-awful. Whatever, let's go.
Now, for those who don't know who Mr. Enter is an animation critic. He pretty much looks at cartoons, whether it be for adults, kids, or even stuff on the internet. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, and at the time, he seemed to be doing a great job at it. But over time, his reviews have gotten less entertaining and a lot more nitpicky, and simply put, he's kind of becoming a soccer mom. He tends to get upset at some of the littlest things, like if there's even just a hint of cruelty or mean-spiritedness. It doesn't matter if it's nowhere as over-the-top as stuff like this Squidward torture porns. If there's a bit of cruelty, he'll bitch about it.
Really, James? I remember that one of his videos did exactly the opposite.
When I tend to make an animated atrocity, I do bring up things like SpongeBob not wearing his helmet a lot. Patrick's uncharacteristically acting like a jerk. SpongeBob is in Sandy's tree dome without a helmet, and people tend to pick apart those little bits in my review, thinking that it undermines my entire argument. There's a difference between a flaw that ruins an episode, and a flaw that provides a minor distraction. Think of it like this. SpongeBob not wearing his helmet in Sandy's tree dome is like a spelling mistake on an otherwise really good essay. In a bad episode like Face Freeze, it's a problem, but not the problem. Minor things don't really destroy an episode for me, unless it's something like House Fancy or Peter Problems. Despite what many people think, I don't demand perfection, but it is nice when I can get it. And the positives of this episode significantly outweigh the negatives.
Oh wait, it's an admirable animation that's not trolls. You will not listen.
An example of this would be his Sorry Wrong Ed review, where he was complaining about how Double D wasn't too concerned with Eddie being injured, despite the fact that stuff like that happens on the show all the time, or the type of injuries Eddie's receive, which, again, happens all the time on the show.
Remember what I said about this show knowing when to give consequences to what character? Yeah, this episode misses the ball. All Eddie did was take something that Rolf threw away.
It might be bad, I can do that. It might be the reason I'm tired of trying. Can't I be a rest? Would I be the best?
In it, I said that you should keep morals far, far away from your jokes, because, if you haven't guessed by now, this has been a satire, and I'm judging it as such. I'm fairly sure that they're attempting to satirize this plotline, but here's the thing, there's no sign that it's being tongue-in-cheek about this. At no point is it saying here, this is what we're trying to do, don't take anything we do seriously. These writers worked on Mad, and this kind of stuff could work there because there's that kind of acknowledgement built in.
But Teen Titans Go is a comedy show, so doesn't that already kind of imply that a lot of the morals aren't going to be very serious? I mean, granted, you can tell some serious morals, like what they do in South Park, but Teen Titans Go is for kids, and typically speaking, a lot of children's programming don't tell a lot of morals. Even then, why do they have to let people know that they're being satirical with morals?
Okay, let me quote the video this clip is from.
A sense of sarcasm is something you develop as you grow up. Sometimes even adults do not have one. As you know, someone in Tumblr is using this episode to prove his delusions.
In other words, this episode is wrong because it's for kids.
It might be bad, I can do that. It might be the reason I'm tired of trying. Can't I be a rest? Would I be the best?
Let's start with the theme song.
My name is Angela, hey hello, welcome to my Marion show.
It's sung by a character who can't sing and doesn't flow very well at all. Angela says that she'll introduce her friends, but she doesn't.
Seriously, you're nitpicking the fucking intro? Are you really this desperate to find flaws?
And more quoting I have to do.
When I review something, I don't do it because of stupid little nitpicks. Nitpicks are always secondary, and sometimes they're just jokes. Asking me not to nitpick is like asking a teacher to let grammar mistakes slide. The problem is when people review things by simple nitpick.
Also, I'd like to mention this is not his entire argument.
Where you think Brinks is? How should I know, Johnny Abadi, my dim best friend?
Wow, no really. You couldn't make exposition more obvious and more stupid. Oh yeah, Angela Anaconda has fantasies kinda like Doug, except she's a sociopath. So this shows us an alpha bitch tends to die a lot.
Really? Because I remember Nanette just getting injured in exaggerated and cartoony ways. You know, I'm starting to see why people label you as a soccer mom.
Because admirals don't exist, lol. But in all seriousness, that was actually a decent point. You should make more of those. You know, like in your other videos.
Or maybe, just maybe, he just didn't have the patience to sit through that whole video and respond to it, especially considering how freaking long it is.
Hello, this is a commentary. You're supposed to be actually debunking his point, not making pointless statements.
I honestly didn't think he needed to be suspended for copyright infringement, especially considering the fact that this is fair use.
Yeah, between those and this one, it's very hard to swallow.
Lightly, but I can do that. It might be the reason I'm tired of trying. Can't I be a rest? Would I be the best?
And the substitute doesn't like the sandwich. Also, she's a dick to Nanette because the world can be an ass to her if the main character says that she's mean.
No, it's because Nanette's exposing herself as a kiss-up.
What?
Because Nanette's exposing herself as a kiss-up.
She's exposing herself as a what? Can you please explain what that means?
My opinion is grossly biased, I understand this. I cannot watch Shrek without blaming it for Chicken Little, Ren and Stimpy for Mega Babies, South Park for Adult Party Cartoon, or Brickleberry.
So let me get this straight. Because of all the bad rip-offs of these films, you can't enjoy the originals. You can't enjoy Shrek because of films like Chicken Little. You can't enjoy stuff like Ren and Stimpy simply because of Mega Babies. That makes no sense. Like, this is actually rather common with anything that's popular. No company can actually predict that other people will copy them.
Another decent point. Actually, why didn't I skip this?
I can't give praise to Shrek without giving praise to its ripoffs.
Yes, you can. You can actually explain why it works in Shrek and not in any of the films that tries to copy its humor.
Maybe he finds it a bit frustrating.
I do know that there's a reason for this voice thing that is virtually only present in animation. Some live-action shows may do it for a quick gag, but they will eventually drop the voices or mental trope. This is not because people think that kids wouldn't know who is who during the body swap. It's because this is the easy way out. It's easy to switch around voices in animation. What's hard to do is match someone else's speaking style. Try talking in someone else's accent like a native speaker and you'll see what I'm talking about. It's tough. I get it. But sometimes you gotta do hard work to pull things off. Go the extra mile.
You heard it right here, voice actors. If you plan on doing a body swap episode, then you actually need to learn how to do that other person's speaking pattern, because Mr. Enter said so, and it makes it more enjoyable for him. Good fucking God, how pretentious can you be? And would you believe that this goes on for about 3 minutes? He's spending 3 minutes of a 10-minute video whining about something that he claims destroyed the entire story, when in reality, it doesn't! To all the people who's watching this video right now, how many of you actually care about this little trope as much as Enter? How many of you actually feel that it actually ruins the episode when they swap the voices? Please, answer me that.
I do. But I wouldn't say it destroys it or ruins it. I would say it harms it. You know, like what Mr. Enter said. I think this could be just as funny with the voices being in the original body.
Where's your proof on this? No, seriously, where's your proof?
I actually enjoyed some of the lines I got from the Growing Around episode Mind Games. And considering we're talking about saying things happen when they don't, how pretentious can you be?
It might be bad, I can do that. It might be the reason I'm tired of trying. Can't I be a rest? Would I be the best?
I could go on, like, saying how the YouTube copyright video just seemed to be him projecting his anger about being terminated briefly onto the video, or how annoying his anger was in his Elf Bowling review.
Hey, I like that review.
He actually has rules for his DeviantArt page. Rule 1. Do not mention blocked people in my comment section. There have been a rash of people who are blocked by me going around and begging people who frequent my pages to get unblocked. When these people do get unblocked, they tend to keep doing the exact same thing that got them blocked in the first place. Don't even mention them, because they have a habit of going into other websites and just spewing bile. Never mind the fact that maybe this person who got blocked actually had a legitimate problem with your attitude.
We'll get to that later.
Skipping rule 2. Do not post external links, anything other than the website you are currently on. There's no point to it. Any discussion that any person wants to have with me can be done here. I don't see what the problem with an external link is.
I don't know. Spam? Especially if they can cause physical harm.
Lightly, but I can do that. It might be the reason I'm tired of trying. Can that be a rest? Would I be the best?
Rule 9. I don't watch response videos, for many reasons. Most importantly, I just don't have the time. Yeah, I call bullshit on that.
Well, in your own words, where's your proof on this?
It would take you a lot less time to just leave a comment, and it's a lot more likely that I'll respond. But when most people make response videos, they tend to fall into the same traps. They either use the straw man fallacy, where they're arguing with something that I've never meant or ever said.
That's just a straw man fallacy.
Or they're using the no truth Scotsman fallacy. Wow, you really are turning into Orion. Example, no true troll would do such a thing. They basically ignore the argument in favor of semantics. But 95% of them basically ignore everything I've said in my videos to simply state their opinion. Oh really, Enter? How the hell are we ignoring your arguments when we're outright looking at them in your videos and actually somewhat restating them?
Okay, before we end this commentary, I want to show you some of the quote-unquote criticisms given to Mr. Enter. Now I have a question for you guys. Between all of them, have you ever thought that at least one of them was bullshit?
Overall, Enter's become a rather poor critic, and I honestly just can't take him seriously anymore. With his terrible attitude and faulty arguments, I don't see myself becoming a fan again.
Faulty arguments? That sounds more like this video.
Are you really this desperate to find flaws?
Yeah, fucking poetic.
I honestly feel that there are far more reviewers out there, such as Nostalgia Critic, Bob Show, Hardcore Kid, Cartoon Hero, Pie Guy Rules, and many others. Sure, they can be hit and miss at times, but I find them a lot better since their arguments seem to be more credible, and they have a better understanding of what they're looking at, and don't take things so seriously. They know how to take a fucking joke.
Because the answer was fucking great on his review of the Tom and Jerry movie.
Not to mention that they're more respectful for their fan base if they disagree with them.
Since most of them aren't hidden trolls.
Anyway, that is my video. I'll see you guys later.
And that's the end of the video. My thought? Come on, MacboyRedux, you're better than this. Half your arguments could be debunked if you watched 5 minutes of the actual review. Although the other half had decent points, the negatives outweigh a lot the positives. Actually not that much, but still, they outweigh it. Like I said, it's not god-awful, but it's not good either. Anyway, we end Comment Jack, this is the Leva, and I'll see you next time.
They bore the snot out of me. The end!